Justin Bieber and Jaden Smith, two young boys who went through something horrific at the hands of the two people they trusted most in their lives. Justin was always rumored to have been used by his mentor and trainer Diddy, while Jaden Smith seemingly suffered the same fate at the hands of his own father.
As far as Will Smith is concerned, until he does right by all of those children that were harmed and corrupted while in his care, children that grew up to be men, boys like Bashir Gray, August Alsina, your own son, like your own son.
It's not our fault that Justin Bieber got by Diddy.
It's not our fault that Usher didn't want to get by Diddy anymore.
Now, many of you may be wondering, how could Diddy and Will Smith possibly be connected? Music, well, you may be surprised to learn that the two have a long and problematic history together. Keef D, the self-professed music killer of Tupac, has said he's seen Diddy and Will attending gay Illuminati parties together.
Jada Pinkett and Will Smith, you told me before that you was at a party before that they attended and you said the party was weird. Tell me about that.
The vibes ain't there. I guess that's what Tupac was talking about, the Illuminati and shit. It's like Vivica Fox was with this big gay man. He was 6'9". They called his name 6'9". He had the red hair with a big old booty and shit. Nobody was gaying him over. What the f is going on here? It's just a lot of weird shit, dude. You know what I'm saying? It ain't right. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's what Tupac, I guess he wanted to get up out of the Illuminati or something. But I seen it the matter of fact, MC Lyte pulled off with Tanisha Arnold. You know what I'm saying? In her brand new 560, black one. Yeah, that shit weird, dude. Yeah, that's some weird going on, you know? Yeah.
And what was Tupac doing at the party, yo?
Him and Puff was there together. They was there, you know what I'm saying?
So, it's clear the two definitely moved in the same circles. And what Jaguar Wright would reveal about them would make their allegations even heavier than before. She brought up Will Smith, Diddy, music, Justin Bieber, Jaden Smith, and several other celebrities while arguing that the entertainment industry has failed to protect young performers. Music, she claimed that, in her opinion, Will Smith still has unresolved accountability for what she described as children who were allegedly harmed or corrupted while under his care. She specifically named Bashir Gray, August Alsina, and even Will's own son, Jaden Smith.
What you're saying reaches the ears of Will Smith, and he needs to get at least, if there's smoke, there's fire, let me grab a fan.
Number one, as far as Will Smith is concerned, until he does right by all of those children that were harmed and corrupted while in his care, children that grew up to be men.
About Bashir Gray?
Oh, okay. So let's even go into that since you want it, and then we'll go into the legal stuff.
I saw a video with Bashir Gray on X.
Okay.
And he had both his legs up. He was digging and covering himself in his ass.
Okay.
Empire, Bashir Gray.
Okay.
That is not allegedly. The video is on X, unless it's a deep fake.
No, it ain't. Okay. So in the book, in one of the chapters, it talk about mentorship. So allegedly, Charlie Mack and Will called me and said, we're coming to your apartment. I said, oh, okay.
Now, when was this?
No problem. This was during the time before Empire even started.
Okay.
So people can look it up and see what year it was. So I'm like, all right, cool. So, but normally I have to go to Will's house if there's a meeting. So Will comes to my apartment allegedly, and Charlie Mack, the rat, the informant, come to my apartment. So they was like, hey, B, look, man, we got this new guy Will is mentoring. His name is Bashir Gray. Everybody call him Yaz. He's about to get cast on this major show. That was I'm like, okay, what would you want? I'm thinking they coming to get product, because what people don't know, I kept millions of dollars in products from various companies and lockers, right? So whenever a celebrity call me and say, I need this, I'm running to wherever they are, dropping it off, taking a picture and getting a nice check sent to me, right? So this is my job every day. So I said, Will, and then Will said, yo, because Bashir was supposed to allegedly star in the reboot of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right?
I could see him
right.
doing
That's
that.
what I'm saying, right? So they're
He
telling
would have been a better fit.
yeah. So they gassing me up. So I'm like, all right. So I said, look, Will, I said, what do you want me to do? He said, I want you to go to Chicago and hold this guy down, right? I said, to be his assistant? And he was like,
he always sending you to be the assistant.
Right. So I'm like, I said, this guy can't pay me. And then I go to my computer. Boom. I remember like it was yesterday. I turned the computer around. I said, Will, that's what's in my bank account right now. Right? Will started laughing. Right? And said, I'm going to make sure you get double that over the course of time. That's my guarantee. So I'm like, sheesh. I said, okay. So he said, just make sure you hold them down. Because he was like, Charlie Mack is not going to be able to be there. Because him and Charlie had something else going on. Right? Okay. So I said, well, listen, let me close out what I'm doing. Right? And I told Will, with some of my sponsors, I'm going to need you to do me a video or something to just let them know I'm working on a special project with you. And then it'll be beneficial for them in the future. Okay. Right? So I'm covering all my grounds. Right? So, and I said, I need some time before the show starts for me to make it out there to close everything down. So I arrived in Chicago for Empire. It's a damn mess. It's no other way to put it. This dude is going crazy, right? He's out there allegedly with male prostitutes. He's pissing in the trailer. He's acting psychotic, right?
The same thing he's doing now.
Jaguar also said she believes Bieber's public struggles should concern everyone and questioned how much more he could endure. Music, Jaguar warned that if anything were ever to happen to him, she didn't want anyone claiming they were unaware because she says she's been speaking publicly about her concerns for years.
With
Justin
Bieber. And then for Bashir, you see him all of a sudden fighting over Sydney Starr with Eddie Winslow. It does question what happens in the entertainment industry that makes someone go into just being very close with, men on men contact. It's interesting, I'll say the least.
You want to know the thing that bothers me most about Bashir Gray? I actually think he's doing all of this so they'll take him back in the club. And they're not. They're going to keep gaslighting you and playing with you, promising you one thing or another. Not now. Just next year's going to be your time. You need to get yourself out there. You need to.
Jack, I have a question. So we speak about, you dealing with the Illuminati and having tides and things like that and denouncing it. Can you tell me
outrage?
One of the things that they promised you that
and
would
now
happen?
they're watching him become a fallen one, like a comet speeding. How long before he decides it's time to cash out now? How long? Because the one thing I will say is this. Anything happens to that young man, better not nobody say a word to me. For years, I've been yelling.
She then praised commentator Morad Merali, saying she appreciates his perspective because, according to Jaguar, he has openly discussed surviving abuse and therefore recognizes warning signs that others overlook. Jaguar questioned why more people weren't asking difficult questions. She also criticized Terrence Howard, saying that despite speaking openly about many Hollywood issues, she believes he failed to address what she considers one of the most important subjects.
And that was the only issue that I had about what Terrence Howard had to say. Because of all that he talked, he said nothing about Bashir. He played his television father.
Right.
He was on set. He saw what Charlie Mack and them were doing. He knew they were taking those young boys to Diddy. They all knew. I guess his man card only counts, or is only large enough to cover his asshole. Because if you truly believed in all that you say, there is no way you could stand by and watch all of those people that you worked with do what they did to those kids. And you said nothing. Like, if you're gonna have integrity, it needs to wrap all the way around the building.
Yes, facts.
You gotta have integrity for it all. If the man card is the thing, and you ain't gonna let nobody take yours, when you see a younger man being preyed upon, you're not gonna stand in the gap for him and say, no, you ain't taking his man card.
Now, these aren't things that just happen in a vacuum. According to Jaguar, Jaden was taken advantage of by his own father. Why? What could have possibly influenced him to do things like these? The thing is, these actions are learned, and if insiders are to be believed, Will was experimenting on his own child before he moved towards taking advantage of August Alsina and Brisher, Gray. The very same thing Diddy did to Usher before moving on to Justin Bieber.
Now it's gonna scream and holler, but eventually it will get used to the fact that his mouth is no longer full with that object. And that it's time to just, learn how to live without it. He been sticking on Diddy's a long time. It's time for him to learn how to make this thing happen without the devil's in his mouth. Boy.
You don't think if he sued, he'll just Lil Woody the situation and I don't recall? I don't recall.
No, because I think if a victim comes out against Usher, it'll show how egregious this is. Because if he can be a predator, then anybody can be a predator.
Can't smile on your face the whole time.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, people look at Usher, they don't see that. They're not seeing the victim. They're not seeing that boy that got rushed to the hospital. They're not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there.
Oh.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there. Diddy had been trying to get to Bieber for a minute. And his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that. He had already been to the hospital. That situation that Gene was talking about. And you still took Bieber there. But you got custody of him first. Diddy had already tried. They wouldn't let him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory. And then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
She went even further, alleging that people who exploit young victims sometimes recruit older victims to bring in younger ones. Jaguar claimed that if Usher knowingly introduced young people to situations where harm could occur, then he should also face scrutiny.
Usher is a procurer. And if Usher knew what was going to happen to any of those young children that he took to the Flavor Freak office, he a good guy. Especially considering what happened to him. Especially considering that he sat with Howard Stern, and Howard Stern said, would you send your kids to Puffy's Flavor Camp? And his immediate response was, hell no! So it's good enough for everybody else's kids, but it's not good enough for yours. Yours are just good enough to die in Lake Lanier with no real investigation. Got it? Like, these aren't good people!
Oof, oof. All right, Jay.
He's not good! He's a... And the simple fact that then Justin Bieber literally made a public statement and said, Usher asked me to do the Super Bowl with him and I turned it down. Why would he turn it down? Who turns down the Super Bowl?
Gene Deal has confirmed these allegations, saying that on some occasions, what Diddy did to Usher sent him to the hospital.
He got on Shay Shay and he mentioned how great and how good Puff taught him and everything. You know what I'm saying? About the business. Right? I know, and people know, that was around that in that time that Puff and Usher did have a situation. And that situation led Usher to the hospital. Now I let Usher explain that to y'all. I let Usher tell that story. But how dare you say a man that groomed you gonna give him a pass? Bro, you know I know. Let me reframe you on something. Remember Usher? We was at the Swiss Hotel. Puff had Kim in the room. Had one of Keith Sweat's baby mothers in the big room outside the master bedroom. He came outside in his robe. She gave him a fellatio right there. His back was turned to me. She gave him a fellatio. You knocked on the door. I came and opened the door for you. Puff went in the room. You came in the room and kissed that girl dead in her mouth. Now I'm telling that because you taking up for somebody that you know and a lot of more people know didn't do you right when you was at Diddy camp. Bro, you know how people be talking and we was around some people, something like that, and then some people might say, yo, I don't F with that dude. And at the time, I didn't even know who the F Usher was. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those type of situations. And when probably say, yo, man, I don't F with them niggas. Man, I'm getting out that industry and everything like that. You know, Puff sent this little kid to the hospital. How he sent her to the hospital? Man, nigga was bleeding from the butt. And that's what was said. I didn't even have a name for the kid at the time. Then you heard, and that's what happened. And that's just, that's something that you heard. You don't know if it's true, you just heard it. So, and just to hear this, and this new thing where they saying that they got kids coming forward and said that he did that, man, that shit is crazy. And like I just said, that's just something that I heard. It's something that I didn't know. It's something that I ain't see. A lot of people want to, because Gene Deal has spoken on certain things that I've heard, I have spoken on it. But then they were just trying to say, I know. No, I'm not scared to say what I heard. And if there's any truth to it, then it's truth to it. Let them find it. Things that I've saw or things that I've witnessed and been a part of, I've said it. I'm not afraid to say what I saw or what I didn't see.
The thing is, what Diddy was always seen as someone capable of doing things like these to young kids. What a lot of people didn't expect was that Will Smith would also be taking part in them, let alone taking advantage of his own son. Understandably, this left both Justin and Jaden with huge psychological and mental issues.
When we said we wanted to bring him to the table, I was like, well, what do you want to talk about? He said, mushrooms.
Yeah. Yeah.
The magic kind, of course.
Yeah.
Jaden Smith joins his mom, Jada Pinkett Smith, and grandma, Adrienne Banfeld Norris, on Red Table Talk. And they're talking magic mushrooms, people.
But since it's my mom, it's like, it's my mom. We're working together.
On the latest episode of the Facebook Watch series, the fam talks about the plant medicine that some say is a miracle treatment for mental health.
I was introduced to plant medicine 10 years ago to deal with my depression, and it knocked it out.
Something Jada says she can speak to from personal experience.
What it does, unlike just going to therapy and putting people on Prozac, right? Which I did that too. Which that is not successful for so many people. And that's the thing. So for me, I had struggled with depression for so long. You know, I mean, crippling depression. So the thing about the plant medicine is that not only does it help you feel better, but it helps you solve the problems of how you got there in the first place.
As for Jaden, he says recent studies that touted mushrooms as one of the most significant advances in treating depression over more traditional antidepressants inspired his use of psychedelics.
It started as pure curiosity.
Yeah. The 23-year-old added that he started using the drugs out of curiosity, and doing so led to his understanding of what ego was for the first time.
It was always in my head talking, telling me what I was and what I wasn't. And for the first time, I had like a ego dissolution where I was like, that was the moment that really changed me. You get to a place in your life where you're blocked by something, whether it's a trauma, whether it's your emotions, your ego, not being able to express yourself. And then I feel like psychedelics are a way to tear down that wall.
Talk of the video comes after footage of Diddy and Justin also resurfaced on social media recently.
Not anyone could just be in the position that I'm in.
Video shows Diddy alongside teenage Justin, leaving people to speculate if, at the time, he subjected the pop star to his alleged freak-offs.
Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time.
You're going to hear about my party. They're going to be shutting them down. They're going to probably be arresting me, doing all types of crazy things just because we want to have a good time.
During the Zane Lowe interview, Justin breaks down in tears when talking about wanting to protect Billie Eilish, who at the time quickly rose to superstar status.
I just wanted to be a good example, and it was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn, and everyone, you know, telling me they love me and, you know, just turn their back on you in a second. I just want to protect her, you know? I don't want her to go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody.
When it comes to what Justin thinks of Diddy's allegations, a source tells ET Justin's not focused on what is going on with Diddy or the allegations against him. Instead, our insider says Justin and Haley are focused on baby Jack, whom they welcomed in August.
All of this certainly seems to suggest a pattern. What remains is a very simple question. Will these people ever be brought to justice? We'd love to hear what your theories are on this. Music down below.